Oh, 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 yeah. Condensation. Connecting stream. Oh, hello everybody. You guys got the notification? You guys got the notification? In nome di Padre, Filii, Spiritus Sancto. Oh my God. Welcome. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Valenti Videos broadcast. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. And, Trump had like a memecoin meeting. They had hats that said "Make Crypto Great Again." Just the stupidest shit you could possibly imagine. And it was like a closed-door meeting. Oh. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Sorry, I'm burping. Hi, Luigi. Hi, Mama. Do you want to come up? Do you want to say hi to everybody? I'll let you say hi to everybody. Come here. Come here. Where you going? Oh, you're jumping. You're doing the jumps. What wave? Come here. What? Don't give me those eyes. You want to throw a toy? I'll throw you a toy. You want this? What is this? It's a reindeer. All right. You ready, Luigi? You ready? Yeah, fuck it up. Fuck it up. Oh. Fuck it up. Yeah. Oh, bean. All right. How many Valenti coin does this buy me? I don't know, my brother. My brother. I got a lot of toy. One of the things I do want to get queued up is Charlie Kirk's fucking, he didn't he debate like a Cambridge University teacher and he got bodied? Let's see. What the fuck is this? Oh, God almighty. All right, Charlie Kirk, debate Cambridge. No, where is it? I want him debating the professor. Charlie Kirk debates Cambridge professor.
Folks,
Oh, Jesus. I ain't watching on his actual account. You're getting the fuck out of here with that. You're getting the fuck out of here with that. Maybe I can find it on TikTok. Tiki-taki.
I'm using the fucking
What the fuck is this? Dude, why is it? Because here's the thing. I'm not signed in on TikTok. This is just what TikTok shows you off the rip. That's a scene from Euphoria. Ambria Doomhover, welcome. You just became a loyalist. Yikes. Absolute yikesington. This is it.
So why is Ukraine bad? There's a lot wrong with Ukraine.
All right, Charlie Kirk debated a Cambridge
why is that
professor.
so fucking loud? Why is that so loud, Adam? Why have you done this?
So why is Ukraine bad? There's a lot wrong with Ukraine.
All right, Charlie Kirk debated a Cambridge professor rather than a
Nifty the
student for the
Gremlin.
first time, and he immediately contradicts himself. Take a look.
First of all, they're not a democracy. Zelensky refused to hold an election. Well, no, he can't hold an election. Oh, wait, did Churchill hold an election during the war?
Because under his... It's in the fucking Ukrainian constitution.
Constitution. Hold on, Lincoln held an election during the war. That's not true. He can call an election. He can call a snap election. He's full dictator of the country. No. Because he knows that the people of Ukraine would kick him out immediately because he's deeply unpopular. In fact, if he wanted to show a statement to the world, he would call an election and win by 80% and say, see, I'm super popular. So that's number...
That would be a violation of the Ukrainian constitution, which would make him, like you're claiming, a dictator. So you're saying he's a dictator because he won't do what a dictator would do. What the fuck are we talking about?
Number one, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with a person being propped up as a government we're sending $200 billion to that refuses even to face his voters.
Constitutionally, Ukraine is not able to hold an election because it's under military law at the moment, and that's just a matter of fact.
Again,
Yes. See, the United States and Ukraine do not have the same fucking laws. Yeah, we both have constitutions, but our constitution is not their constitution. Their constitution says that if they are in the middle of a fucking military invasion, they cannot hold an election. Now, why is that? It's because Ukraine has a long history of corruption because of the Russian shadow looming above, right? They've had like hand-picked Russian assets thrown throughout Ukraine since fucking 1860. This is, oh, Maron, God forbid. God fucking forbid.
and he can,
Get some constituencies in the chat.
as a prime minister or president, he can do whatever he wants.
Everyone.
Again, he can, as a prime minister or president, he can do whatever he wants.
He can't.
Oh, as a prime minister or a president, you can just do whatever you want? That explains why you support Donald Trump. The live's been only going for like 6 minutes.
All right, did you guys catch how contradictory that argument was? Charlie Kirk says Ukraine is bad because Zelensky is a dictator, and in order to fix that, Zelensky should override his country's constitution in a dictatorial way. It's like all roads lead to Rome. Zelensky's a dictator if he does, he's a dictator if he doesn't. And that plays into the Russian narrative when you have such an incoherent thesis on the entire war.
Don't get this approach, which was supposedly to end the war quickly, which now seems to be elongating it. And if people can't see that Putin is stalling,
I agree with you. I think he might be stalling.
So why is you?
I agree with you. I think he might be stalling. Okay, so are you going to say that Donald Trump is fucking like a spineless jelly doing shit, doing fuck all about us being dragged along, tapped along? I mean, what the fuck? Long live the Constitution! Insane. Insane. That's fucking wild. Anyway, let me get this link up. So look at it. Essentially, Trump had like this late night meme coin dinner, right? Where like some of the biggest, let me get some more articles up on this. Some of the biggest names in crypto were at this whole thing because they're all, oligarchs, troligarchs. They're all working together. But Caroline Levitt, No Lip Levitt, she ends up having to carry the weight of all of Trump's terrible decisions because she represents him, and she's the one who gets questioned by judges and shit. How's the audio, by the way? How is my audio? Trump meme coin meeting. The crypto investors who bought a dinner with Trump. Oh my God, bro. President Donald Trump, who in March hosted a White House summit for some of cryptocurrency's biggest names, is poised to sit down with another type of digital asset fanatic. The top investors in his personalized meme coin. We're so fucked. The fact that they're not trying to hide that, the fact that this isn't even being attempted to be concealed, is insane.
On the dinner tonight, you mentioned this is not a White House dinner, but the president is always the president, and the Trump family is making money off of this. So can you just explain, how is this not the president using the office to enrich himself?
All of the president's assets are in a blind trust, which is managed by his children, and I would argue one of the many reasons that the American people reelected this president back to this office is because he was a very successful businessman before giving it up to publicly serve our country. Reagan.
That's No Lip Levitt's answer when it comes to the fact that Donald Trump, and also they're saying that this isn't an official act of the president. The president of the United States meeting with the top investors of the Trump meme coin is apparently not It has nothing to do with him being the president. It's just got nothing to do with it. Oh my ever-loving fuck. What do we got here?
On the president's dinner tonight, will the White House commit to making a list of the attendees public so people can see who's paying for that kind of access to the president?
Well, as you know, Gareth, this question has been raised with the president. I have also addressed the dinner tonight. The president is attending it in his personal time. It is not a White House dinner. It's not taking place here at the White House. But certainly I can raise that question and try to get you an answer for it.
I'm not lying. I think this is the most corrupt thing he's ever done. This has to be hands down. I don't know if you guys know this, but 75% of the investors for Trump's meme coin were foreign investors. So these are all foreign billionaires having a meeting with the president of the United States, but apparently it's just a private dinner. It has nothing to do with him being the president. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck else do we got from No Lip Levitt? Give me more No Lip Levitt.
It's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency.
He made $2 billion on Inauguration Day, and the Trump organization made $50 billion, all off the meme coin, just the meme coin.
This president was incredibly successful before giving it all up to serve our country publicly. And not only has he lost wealth, but he also almost lost his life.
What do you mean, giving
He
it
has
all up?
sacrificed a lot to be here, and to suggest otherwise is frankly completely absurd. Libby, it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off.
I swear to Christ, bro. I don't even think there's MAGA chuds out there who don't think Trump is profiting off of this fucking presidency. Who the fuck do you think is making the money off the Trump hats? He sells the merch on his website.
Valenti, without you, I have no reason to get up in the morning. Thank you for personally supporting me. I see that you support me. Hell yeah, little brother. Hell yeah. I don't know who you are, but I support you. I don't know who you are. Can't join all the time because I work wonky hours. That's A-okay. That is A-okay. Trump's making money on the libs? Yeah, absolutely.
Off of the presidency. This president was incredibly successful before giving it all up to serve our country publicly. And not only has he lost wealth, but he also almost lost his life. He has sacrificed a lot to be here, and to suggest otherwise is frankly completely absurd. Libby, it's a
Oh, Jesus, bro. It never ends. Welcome back, Neon. How you doing? How are you, buddy? Oh, what do we got here? Hey, commie. Trump meets with his largest meme coin holders. The New York Times. Several of the dinner guests in interviews with the New York Times said that they attended the event with the explicit intent of influencing Mr. Trump as U.S. financial regulations. Sangrok O A Korean crypto executive arrived at the dinner with a collection of red baseball caps emblazoned with the words, "Make crypto great again," that he planned to hand out at the event. He said he had flown all the way from Seoul to attend the dinner. "It's kind of a fundraiser for Mr. Trump," Mr. O said in an interview at his hotel in Virginia. "And he'll always be good to his sponsors." Oh my God, bro. Dude, the White House is for sale. The White House is for sale. The dinner was designed to fuel more sales. The organizers framed it as a contest. The top 220 buyers would dine with Mr. Trump at his golf club, while the top 25 would attend a more intimate gathering with the president before dinner and go on a tour of the White House. Oh, wait, No Lip Levitt deadass lied. She was like, they're not doing this at the White House. It's got nothing to do with the White House. Well, what the fuck are we talking about then? Just open bribery. Dude, this is so fucking crazy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh. I think I got a couple of good reposts going. Oh, yeah. So,
Medicaid is never...
So I'm sure you guys know that in Trump's big, beautiful bill, there's a $500 million cut. Or is it billion? I think it's billion. Yeah, it's $500 billion cut to Medicare and an $800 billion cut to Medicaid. And watch how they lied coming up to this.
Never been on the chopping block.
I'm not going to vote for Medicaid cuts, benefit cuts.
You will see no cuts in Medicaid payments.
Medicare, Medicaid. None of that stuff is going to be touched.
They talk about Medicaid cuts. Everybody's going to be thrown, according to Democrats, into all these horrible situations. There's only one problem. The word Medicaid is not even in this bill.
Medicaid has never been on the chopping block.
Brother, $500 billion cut to Medicare. $800 billion cut to Medicaid. That is between 13 and 80 million Americans losing their health care entirely. Not to mention there was like, what was it? I think it was like a $900 billion cut to food stamps, like SNAP benefits. Brother, every single one of our, what would you call them? Our social safety nets, you know, like government institutions designed for the people, they're all collapsing. They're all collapsing. And he cut Medicare, Chrissy? He did. $500 billion of it. It's disturbing. It's unbelievable.
If you are on Capitol Hill and you claim to be a conservative, fiscal conservative, you cannot vote for this bill. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was, shoved in back corners of leaders' offices and said, you have to do this or else. You just can't do it. Like, we determined we were going to balance the budget, even if it meant that we were going to lose.
Is that Avi chatting as me? Avi, is that you? That scared the shit out of me! What the fuck? Oh my God. Use my app. Use it. I'll pull it up. I was trying to get it up earlier. It wasn't working. It wasn't working, I swear. Let's see. Copy. Paste. YouTube. Connect. Chris got 2 mods now. Avi's my fucking manager, dog. Failed to connect. Status code 400. Failed to connect. Status code 400. Yep, failed to connect. I'll try it again later. Got it. We'll fix. Copy that, brother. 10-4. Everybody salute Avi before he leaves. I want some 07s in the chat.
Like, we determined we were going to balance the budget, even if it meant that we were going to lose all support from everybody in leadership. And we did. And we still got reelected, and we balanced the budget. And these guys are sitting there and never say, oh, what can I do? What can I, my party's coming on, the president came down. You can say no. You can just say no. I mean, it worked for us. And by the way, you don't need a ton of people to do it. We had like 11 people. 11 hard no votes. And there aren't 2 or 3 people that don't want to add, like, that are going to go along with adding $10, $20 trillion to the national debt.
Did you call me violenti? That's crazy.
I'm telling you, the crisis that's going to ensue from this fiscal insanity over the past 20 years, I've got to say, pushed mainly when Republicans are in office, if you add up the numbers, we're going to come to a cliff, we're going to fall over, and it's all going to come back to this vote. This is the time they have to get serious. Moody's is downgrading us. You've got Ray Dalio and others on Wall Street warning it's much worse than you think it is. Too. Jamie Dimon's getting a little warning. This is not a close call. $37 trillion going toward $38 trillion. And I swear to God, I say it every year. And every year they pass crazy budgets. I don't get it.
And it's a fiscal crisis potentially, but also, Mika, a political one with some of these Republicans, especially in those swing districts, saying, you're going to ask me to vote for something that gives a massive tax cut to rich people and to corporations.
Right.
But make all of these other cuts somehow to make up for it. You want me to get rid of a bunch of Medicaid for people?
Oh, my God.
That's not going to work for me politically, some of these Republicans are saying.
Yeah, well, every single one of them is fucking voted for it, so what the fuck do you expect, guys? And this is the whole thing about the, it's the culture of fascism, right? It's built on fear. And all of these Republicans are horrified of pissing off Donald Trump. That's why they all push through for it, even though they know that it's a terrible fucking bill. Get this, bro, if you make $50,000 a year or less, right, you are going to make less money next year. 100%. You will have an income cut. Versus, if you're making $15 million a year or more, you will get a $400,000 tax return. I'm going to say that again. If you're making $15 million a year, you are going to get a $400,000 cut in your taxes. It's fucking insane. It's insane. I don't know how the fuck people can support this shit. I genuinely don't. Should I go to the gym or go home? Always go to the gym. Always. Among his guests, a crypto billionaire who was sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, which Elon Musk fucking defunded through Doge, illegally, mind you. A former online poker player turned crypto entrepreneur. A software engineer who converts most of his paychecks into Bitcoin, and a cybersecurity expert who conceals his face in public. Bro, this shit sounds like Batman. It sounds like the Joker. Or like Fisk meeting up with a whole bunch of supervillains. What the fuck? We've got... You know how this... You know, let me make this better. We've got a crypto billionaire sued by Securities and Exchange Commission. A former online poker player turned crypto entrepreneur. Software engineer converts most of his paychecks into Bitcoin. And of course, a cybersecurity expert conceals his face in public. Here's what we're gonna do. Like, brother, this sounds like a fucking heist movie. And then the next line has this. Bro, you could put that on a burglar's sack of money. And I'd be like, yeah, that's cheesy. Yeah. Like, what? Oh my God. Right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get 200 global investors, right? And we're all gonna pump, straight up fucking pump billions of dollars, right? Straight into the Trump meme coin. Yeah, diabolical, mate. Yeah. And we got a private dinner with the President of the United States of America, right? Among his guests, yeah, we got a crypto billionaire, sued by the SEC, a former online poker player turned crypto entrepreneur, and a software engineer who converts most of his paychecks into Bitcoin. Can't forget, a cybersecurity expert who conceals his face in public. Right, yeah. Dio dammi la serenità di citare le cose che non posso cambiare, il coraggio di cambiare le cose che posso, e la saggezza di capire della differenza. We're fucked!
We're cooked, we're really fucking cooked, we're cooked, we're really fucking cooked.
Thank you for the $1 donation, Lucky Shroom. I really do appreciate that. More than 200 global investors in the Trump meme coin, a collectible token with no underlying value, are expected to arrive Thursday at the president's golf club in Virginia after scoring invitations to an exclusive dinner with Trump himself. I gotta start recording this. I have to start recording this, right? I have to. I think I do. Nah, I'll just this whole stream will just go up. I'll just let this one float. I'll make a fucking condensation, Chris. Use it. Okay, I'll try again, puppy. I'll try. Hold on. Condensation. Yeah. Condensation. Copy the link, paste the link, swap it from Twitch to YouTube, click connect stream, connected successfully. Why does it say no active stream? What the fuck? Connect stream. Connected successfully, apparently. We're having a problem here, Ubby. You want to see the problem? Here's the problem. I'm going YouTube. I'm going paste. I'm going connect stream. It says connected successfully, but then poof, disappears. There's your problem, Ubby. There's your problem. On it, boss! But having a little bit of a problem. Refresh it. All right. Condensation. Bringing it up again. Yeah, right. A little bit of it. Refresh. Yeah. A2. Copy. Yeah. Yep. Right. Connect. Come on. Ah, bastard! On it, boss! Thank you for the $2 donation. See more butts. Jason Statham and Valenti. What a crossover episode. Thank you. Sorry, Avi. I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. I'll run it here. If I did something wrong, let me know. I don't know what the fuck happened. Anyway. The investors recently bought $148 million worth of the meme coin, generating millions of dollars in trading fees for the Trump family and its partners behind the venture, who also control most of the token. The top 25 buyers, including crypto mogul Justin Sun and a Singapore-based startup called memecoin, will even get the chance to meet with Trump beforehand at a private reception. Quote, "The whole week I was talking to my wife and father. Wouldn't it be insane if I got to meet the President of the United States based on a meme coin competition?" said Morton Christensen, the 39-year-old one-time poker player who now runs a crypto website and will be attending the dinner. What life is this? Quote. Brothers, and sisters, and thems and themders, we're so fucking cooked. Cooked! I'm going to try condensation again, Avi. But oh my goodness gracious me. I don't understand how, like, conservatives can support this. I mean, like, rural Americans. Same problem, Avi. I'm going to try refreshing it again. Same problem. My apologies. Dude, I really don't understand how conservatives can support this. Weird. Avi, I could show you if you want. Let me see. Here, so copy stream link. There's the stream link. YouTube, connect stream. It's connecting and then it just kind of like disappears. I don't know. How does a rural American, you know, I'm talking somebody who lives in a very, very small town in Louisiana, right? They don't got TikTok in their phone. They don't give a shit about that, you know, and they work a blue-collar job. They're in a union, you know. They don't give a fuck about memes or crypto. And they definitely don't give a fuck about meme coins, like the combo of crypto and memes. And then you hear this, you read this quote. "The whole week I was talking to my wife and father. Wouldn't it be insane if I get to meet the President of the United States based on a meme coin competition?" said Morton Christensen, the 39-year-old one-time poker player who now runs a crypto website and will be attending the dinner. William says, "What's happening, Chris?" So essentially, Trump held a dinner with investors and the top investors in his meme coin, the Trump meme coin, right? And claimed that he's not doing this as the president and that he's doing this as the businessman Trump. But he's the president, and you can't do that. That's illegal. That's a direct violation of the Constitution. We made Jimmy Carter sell his peanut farm. And, like, here's just a small list of who was there, William. Among the guests were a crypto billionaire who was sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission, a former online poker player turned crypto entrepreneur, a software engineer who converts most of his paychecks into Bitcoin, and a cybersecurity expert who conceals his face in public. Oh, my God. What the fuck? Oh. I couldn't even begin to explain this to my mother. Could you imagine trying to explain to your mother what a meme coin is, and that Trump has a meme coin, and that he made $2 billion on inauguration, and that he's having a dinner with foreign investors? What the fuck is going on, dude? The meme coin dinner, billed as, quote, the most exclusive invitation in the world, is the latest example of the president's stunning pivot from crypto scourge to evangelist, an evolution that has been put on stark display since he took back power in Washington. Dude, Trump's going as a businessman, Chris. Are you serious? You think that the president of the United States is capable of just like going to a dinner as... Wait, you think it's okay that Trump is just operating a business outside of being the president of the United States? You serious? Don't engage. I just want his serious reaction to this. You guys don't engage with him. I just want this reaction. You actually think that's okay? It's America, land of the free. Copy that, brother. You're intellectually inferior. There's no point in even fucking addressing you. Let's see. But the gathering has set off an uproar among Democrats, ethics experts, and even a few Republicans, already alarmed by the Trump family's lucrative and growing ties to digital asset businesses, many of whom contributed millions of dollars to Republicans in 2024 elections. Dude, I want to show you guys, I have a couple more reposts I want to show you. They're so fucking funny. So Ben Shapiro has turned on Trump. As we talked about this, he has slowly but surely been turning on Trump, but now he's at the point where he's completely abandoning MAGA, and he's so foolish that he thinks they're gonna choose him over the cult leader. He genuinely thinks that they're gonna choose him over the cult leader. It's fucking nuts. We're gonna watch this little clip here.
That many of the organizations that Donald Trump Jr. is connected to are making an enormous amount of money during this period of time when his father is president, which raises awkward questions, certainly, about Trump administration policy, ranging from Trump memecoin to World Liberty Financial to gigantic real estate deals in Qatar. None of this is an amazingly good look. This administration is doing too many important...
Ben, you spent like 3 years shilling for this man. You are so much more responsible for him being in power than the average American. Sorry, I just bitch slapped you guys. You are far more responsible than the average American. It's like people like you and Charlie Kirk and Steven Crowder, you guys are very responsible. Then there's the Republican politicians above you. They are responsible. Then there's like the embedded fucking Nazis within our government who are incredibly fucking responsible. And then there's Trump. But like, oh, and Elon, can't forget him. But what the fuck are we talking about?
None of this is an amazingly good look. This administration is doing too many important... I'll say it again. This administration is doing too many important things to be bogged down with conversations about how members of the Trump family or the Witkoff family or any of the other families surrounding the administration are making bank while President Trump is president in countries that President Trump is attempting to negotiate with. That is not a good thing. At the very least, it is not a useful thing.
Like, hey, yeah, it took you long enough, dumb fuck. And by the way, this does not mean that, oh my God, look at this.
I ain't gay, but I do gay stuff. Like fucking dudes in the back of my truck. A little
Dude,
less.
that's... Oh my god, I have the best fucking reposts, by the way. If you ever want to check out my reposts, they're so fucking good, dude. They're so fucking good.
This is last night at a Trump crypto dinner. That's Justin Sun right there. Justin Sun is a Chinese national investigated by the SEC for fraud until he bought $75 million in Trump's crypto coin. Trump gave him a gold watch last night at the crypto dinner.
That's illegal. That's illegal.
If this was Joe Biden.
That's illegal. President can't be giving gifts like that. They made Hillary Clinton give back like a $450 hat once. Or scarf or some shit.
So that the American public knows.
So get this. Part of the big beautiful bill is a tax cut for Americans who own tanning beds. Can you guys think of any politicians who are consistently tan? Say psych right now. I'm not kidding at all. I'm not kidding whatsoever.
Knows what this bill does. One of the little things that it does. Would you please read page 901, line 20?
I think it'd be better if you read it.
Oh, he doesn't want to read it.
I'll
read it.
I know the
actually,
legislation, but I'm
Ranking
not
Member
be
Moore.
part of your little,
This fucking guy doesn't even want to read it because he knows what it is, bro. He knows what it is, bro. It's a fucking tax deduction if you own tanning beds, bro. Oh my god, this is fucked.
Member
show
Moore
here, so you can read it.
It was a question if you would read it, so I'll ask Ranking
And I said
Member
no.
Moore to read the text. This is in their bill. They don't want to read a line from their own bill. Ranking Member.
I don't want to read the bill for you.
I'll help you out.
I don't want to read the bill for you. I don't want to read the bill for you. What the fuck? I don't want to read the bill for you. That is the fucking most spineless, gelatinous, fucking floop goopy type shit you could possibly say. What's wrong with tanning?
I am.
Oh my god, let's take it back. Hello, Milan.
The text. This is in their bill. They don't want to read a line from their own bill. Ranking Member.
I don't want to read the bill for you.
I'll help you out.
I am testifying about this legislation. I'm not going to read the bill to you.
Okay, I am.
Miss,
This is amazing.
Miss
You
Lager
are
Fernandez, shall I pass this back or shall I read
No,
it for
why
you?
don't you just read it?
Section 111106, repeal of excise tax on indoor tanning services.
So they're going to repeal. They're repealing an excise tax on tanning beds. Okay, so if you have a tanning bed, you get a little bit of a tax break. And if you need a hospital bed in rural America, I'm sorry, you're out of luck. Right? And I don't know where this particular provision came from. We do know that there are certain elected officials who appear to have a certain orange hue about them. That maybe they want to make sure that tanning beds get a little bit of special
Period,
credit.
bitch. Period. Yes.
But really,
that's the guy. Who the fuck do you think this is for? The fucking I don't know. Let me guess. Mango Mussolini, the fucking Cheeto dust covered Führer. I don't know. I can't really think of anyone else.
really, we are prioritizing tanning beds over hospital beds in rural America. So that
unfucking believable. Unfucking believable, dog. I'm telling you, you could not make this shit up.
If you make over $4 million a year, you will get $400,000 in tax cuts. If you are the 40% of Americans making $50,000 and under, your income is going to go down. So working people making under $50,000 are going to lose income so that fucking...
You hear that? if you make $50,000 a year or less, you are going to make less money during the rest of the Trump regime. But if you make $5 million or more, you're going to get a $400,000 bonus, a little tax deduction. Here's a little $400,000. Oh, but fucking yeah, let it trickle down all over me. Trickle the economy all over my face, Daddy Trump. That's what you fucking people. Oh my God. Yeah, no, deadass, it's time to start selling feet pics. Like, oh my God.
People who make over $4 million can get $400,000 as a tax cut. That's what our government's spending money on? $400,000 for multimillionaires? Like, I don't know. It's a pretty easy thing for people to understand. And if they want to defend that, great, go defend that.
I fucking love Pod Save America. Make sure you go check out Pod Save America. Maybe one day they'll have me on Pod Save America. That would be fucking sick. Shout out Pod Save America, right? Am I right, folks? We love Pod Save America. Also, guess what else was in the big, beautiful bill? Are you ready? I'm going to hold you by the pubes when I say this. Are you ready? Are you ready? $42,000 bonus for every ICE agent. Did you hear me? I'm going to let go now. $42,000 bonus for ICE agents.
In a second. Mr. Marino, on that topic of bonuses, just real quick, do you support ICE agents getting $42,000 worth of bonuses? There's $800 billion for bonuses. Okay. I say.
Mind you, they have so many federal workers.
Insane. Insane. This is who we're giving the $42,000 bonuses to, by the way. These are U.S. citizens. These are not illegal immigrants. Thank you for the 2-month loyalist for Rocky Lucid. These are not illegal immigrants. These are not temporary protective status immigrants. These are United States citizens who happened to be brown and Hispanic.
Hey, that's illegal. Man, sit down. No, fuck that, dude. He's not even doing nothing wrong. He takes, what the fuck?
Yeah, go get him, fat boy. Guys, I think these are volunteers. I'm not kidding. I think, call me a conspiracy theorist, but like, this guy is wearing blue jeans. And his vest doesn't fit him. Like, I think these are MAGA Trump voters, volunteers who are genuinely like they're getting hard off this shit. Nettie just became a member for 3 months. What the actual fuck? This is so fucked.
Citizen, bro.
Oh, if you're a citizen,
He's
they're
a
supposed to
fucking
be doing that.
citizen.
If you're a citizen, they can
Yeah,
get
he's
sued.
saying I'm a citizen. What the fuck?
I hope he got his shit on him. Then I'm gonna get that man this shit.
Sweet fucking baby Jesus, bro. I also thought this was funny.
Trump supporters are like liberals. They're so sensitive and emotional. And then you make one joke about him and they're like, shut the fuck up! You don't talk about my daddy like that! You sensitive piece of shit! Shut the fuck up! You overly emotional, sensitive piece of shit! Why are you crying? Trump supporters are...
It's so fucking true. It's so fucking true. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Jesus, guys. Jesus Christ. What is this?
When you say that Walmart should eat the cost of the tariffs, is that an acknowledgement that it is U.S. companies that bear the brunt of tariffs, not foreign companies?
Sometimes the country will eat it, sometimes Walmart will eat it, and sometimes there'll be something to pay, something extra. I've always been a fan, and I've always believed, and if you look, take a look at what I did 4 years ago. We had the greatest economy, and we had no inflation.
What?
Remember that. We had no inflation, and yet we had hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs that I put on China, yet we had no inflation. We had no big cost differential. Oftentimes, and I've seen...
Yeah, no, I love lying, bro. This is great. Lying is sick.
I don't like it when a department store, because they'll do a lot of business, but you know they announce record profits and everything else. They have to take out some of their profits. They'll make a little bit less money. But I don't want the consumer to pay.
Yeah, then why the fuck are you increasing the prices of everything, dog? It's golden hour. She's piercing through the clouds right now. Come on out, girl. Come on out, girl. Hit me. Hit me. Yeah. Fun fact, lying activates the same part of the brain as cocaine. Did you just do a line? Like, what are we fucking talking about? What are we talking about? You are a ray of sunshine, Chris. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Ippo So Lizard just became a loyalist. W Lizard, W Lizard, W Lizard, W Lizard.
What makes you confident, sir, that Apple can build in the United States at a price that American consumers?
Oh, they can. No, they can.
Jack, please stop.
A lot of it's so computerized now. These plants are amazing if you look at them, but they can do that. And actually, as you know, Apple's coming in with $500 billion. So are the chip companies. We have all of the chip companies coming in. The biggest, $500 billion, $200 billion, $250 billion they're spending. But we're talking about the iPhone now, and the iPhone. If they're going to sell it in America, I want it to be built in the United States. They're able to do that.
When you say that Walmart...
Play that again for me. Hold on. Chris, please read my last message. You were completely correct about the Trump cult. Hold on, why can't I scroll? Now I can. Update on my dad. I've given up on trying to see if he's just brainwashed. He stated that a good president contradicts the Constitution to get jobs done. All right, yeah, no, he's too far gone. He's too far gone.
What makes you confident, sir, that Apple can build in the United States at a price that American consumers?
Oh, they can. No, they can. And a lot of it's so computerized now. These plants are amazing if you look at them, but they can do that. And actually, as you know, Apple's coming in with $500 billion. So are the chip companies. We have all of the chip companies coming in. The biggest, $500 billion, $200 billion, $250 billion they're spending. But we're talking about the iPhone now, and the iPhone. If they're going to sell it in America, I want it to be built in the United States. They're able to do that.
When you say that Walmart...
Okay, so does he think you can just erect a factory and get it up and running and hire fucking tens of thousands of people and get it tradable on the stock market within this term? Does he think that can happen in 4 years? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? And not only that, let's talk about one thing here. I'm going to ask you guys, chat, to answer the questions. Why do companies offshore their manufacturing? Like, why would a company offshore their manufacturing and then ship it to the United States instead of building their factory in the United States? It's cheaper, right? Yeah, there you go. It's cheaper. Less money, lower prices, right? Now, I'm not saying that's a good practice, but let's lock into reality. It's cheaper. So for Trump to expect these companies to pick up their manufacturing and move to the United States is asking them to do what? What is it asking them to do when it comes to money? What is it asking them to do? What is he asking them to do? Would you support child labor, though? No, Christian, you're missing the point. What is he asking them to do? Spend more money. Lose money. Yes, he's asking these companies to spend more money, to lose their profit margins, to shorten their profit margins, right? Excuse me. They won't do it at all. They don't have to do it. You can't force them to do it. Should they do it? Yeah, but not like this. You don't just put giant tariffs on all goods importing to try and force them to come here when you know for a fact it's going to be 4 to 10 years until they're capable of making a profit. You are asking the American consumer to hold on tight like we're fucking on a roller coaster without a fucking safety guard, to hold on tight until these manufacturers decide, let's just make less money and go employ Americans. What? They're not gonna do it! They're gonna call your bluff. They don't give a fuck about us. That's why they offshored in the first place. These private companies don't give a fuck about me or the American worker. So if you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna put a tariff on all the goods, they don't give a shit. Brother, we only have 5.6% of the world's population in the United States. The BRICS nations have 48% of the world's population. They'll just trade with them. Oh, Jesus Christ, brother. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. This guy stinks.
Different strokes, different folks. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. Sorry. Oh, jeez. Different strokes, different folks.
What's Billy Butcher hipping about? Yeah. What the fuck is Billy Butcher hipping about now? Yeah, right, yeah. Have they done anything with the housing market? Yeah, they probably said if you're black, you can't buy a house. Uh-oh. Wouldn't be surprised. It's a new movement. It's called Walls for Whites. It's insane. Oh, yeah, I saw this. So I don't know if you guys know that a federal judge already shut down Trump, saying that he wants to force all foreign students at Harvard University to unenroll. Federal judge already shut that shit down practically fucking immediately. We'll see how his reaction is to that, considering he doesn't really give a fuck. But
different strokes for different folks.
What do you think of J.D. Vance going to Ukraine to draw up a contract stating America could continue funding if they gave a percentage of Ukraine's mineral deposit? Okay, so we're just surrendering. We're like, all right, Russia's going to come in, and if Russia's going to fuck your shit, we're going to fuck your shit too. That's essentially all that is. It's like, well, we're not funding you anymore. We're not giving you money. We're not giving you intelligence. Russia's going to fucking ass pummel you, so we might as well take the mouth too. That's quite literally what that sounds like to me. I have a silly question. Asking for a friend. How do you become a member. So on iPhone, they got rid of the join button for YouTube because Apple takes 30% of every, what is it called? Every single purchase. So I'm going to put the link in the chat to become a member, and Jack is going to save it. And if anybody ever asks for it, Jack is going to have that for you, okay?
Different strokes
for different folks. Let's see. Emails from Malentoid. Copy link address. There you go. You see that link? That's how you can click that to become a member. Got it? Got it? Jack, save that. Save that somewhere, Jackie boy. By the way, guys, the first episode of Valenti Bros is up. Won't let me copy the link. Text it to me. Copy. That means I gotta send it to my. Well, now I gotta fucking. How do I find it?
Different strokes.
Sorry. MPV. Join to become a member. Sorry, I'm like a monkey with thumbs, bro. I don't know how to find this. Hold on. Jack, you're going to have to wait for this. I can't figure this out.
Different strokes.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out, Jack.
Safe and clean.
And on your social
Let's keep it on this for a little while. Let's keep it on the nuclear, and then if you want to ask something else, which you might, we'll do that.
On nuclear, Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
What did you say to folks who are concerned that speeding up licensing or even doing fuel processing raises safety and proliferation?
Yeah, we're going to get it very fast, and we're going to get it very safe, and we're going to get the people in and out, and they're going to do plants in many cases.
W. Leandre, what the fuck? I don't think he understands what the fuck she just said. Listen to the question and listen to his response.
If you want to ask something else, which you might, we'll do that.
On nuclear, Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
What did you say to folks who are concerned that speeding up licensing or even doing fuel processing raises safety and proliferation?
Yeah, we're going to get it very fast.
Yeah, she's talking about safety and proliferation because we are in the process of trying to denuclearize this fucking planet. I would know because I was at the fucking UN. I was one of the goddamn delegates for the fucking proliferation treaty. And that's not to say that nuclear energy isn't good. Nuclear energy is good, but this is a valid fucking concern, which is that you, sir, are a dipshit. So when you start expanding the creation of nuclear energy, we are concerned that you're gonna have fucking leaks, because you're an idiot.
And we're going to get it very safe, and we're going to get the people in and out. And they're
What do you mean we're gonna get the people in and out? What the fuck are you talking about?
Plants. In many cases, they'll do 3 or 4 smaller ones and put them together, That's what France has done. France has done a good job of this for years. And they, as I understand it, they had basically one plan. And if they needed more, they'd do 3 or 4 or 5 of them. I don't know, we have to go that far, but, you know, there's something about building one big one. But we'll build the big ones, too. We're going to have, I think we'll be, I would say we'll be second.
Bro, he sounds like me when I'm playing Halo Wars and I'm talking about building generators. I think I'm going to upgrade this generator, but we're going to make a couple of small generators over there at the mini base, and then big ones here, and then if the enemy attacks, they'll only get the small one. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? W Lucky Shroom for becoming a member, or becoming a loyalist.
Second to none, because we're starting very strong. But we, it's time for nuclear, and we're going to do it very big.
It's time for nuclear. It's time for nuclear. Could you imagine if you didn't speak English? If that, could you imagine if you were an enemy of the United States, you didn't speak English, you're operating off subtitles, and they're like, hey, we got a transcript from the president. He said, it's time to go nuclear. Brother, use your words. Use your words.
Different strokes for different folks.
I'm gonna tweak. Frames are reliable as fuck. Thank you, Matt.
All right, President Trump is rolling out his $175 billion.
Let's see what Fox News has to say.
All right, President Trump is rolling out his $175 billion plan for America's gold.
W. Sora Nokami. Malenti, we already went through every single one of your links. They were fantastic. Thank you. Try to post the link to become a member in the comment section, please.
Golden Dome missile defense system.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term.
Malenti, can you email that link to Jack? I'm going to text you Jack's email. Malenti, I'm emailing you Jack. I'm texting you Jack's email.
Ultimately, this right here.
You do it. You do it. No.
The Golden Dome for America is game changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans.
Leading aerospace and defense company Lockheed Martin could be a major contributor to...
Bro, why does every single girl on Fox News, every single woman looks like a carbon copy? They all, like, do you have to be blonde? Do you have to be a blonde woman? Do you have to be a blonde woman in order to get on this? I'm so dead ass, bro. What the fuck is going on? Who the fuck even is this chick?
To this project. Their Chief Operating Officer, Frank St. John, joins me now. Frank, good morning to you. So what are the capabilities that Lockheed has that can help with this?
Good morning, Carly. As the nation's leading provider of missile defense systems.
Do you know how much death this man is responsible for? This guy is responsible for so much death. You know that scene where Tony Stark in the first Iron Man, he gets kidnapped, and then there's like a missile that lands and it's a dud and it says Stark on it? This is that guy. Not Iron Man, the cool version, but like the guy who's like, oh fuck, I made that. That's who this guy is.
Lockheed Martin brings fielded, proven capabilities in space.
And hey, real quick, do you see people doing the work?
Airborne
or do you see fucking
sensing,
robots doing
as
it?
Well as
Like, my brothers, my blue-collar workers, my union fellers, you're not invited to the party. What do you think you are, a software engineer? Well, they gotta have somebody to oil up the treads of the AI. Bitch, that's gonna be an AI! You know how you shower? Some of you. These motherfuckers are gonna be able to tend to themselves. Like, oh my goodness gracious.
Receptors to defeat threats and command and control capabilities to integrate all of that together.
And this Golden Dome could ultimately block...
Everything's computer!
Nuclear missiles shot from on the ground and in space as well?
Yes, and there are, significant analysis of the existing and growing threat that have created the demand for this system to be fielded now. And so we are bringing those combat-proven capabilities as well as working with all of industry and all of...
This image probably hits so hard if you're dumb as shit. Holy fuck, brother. We're gonna get a bubble shield. Is that a fucking bubble shield? Brother, that's a fucking bubble shield. Hold on. Hold on. Brother, it's a fucking bubble shield from Halo 3. Who are we kidding? It's a fucking bubble shield. Brother. Hell yeah. My fellow Americans, if you vote for me, I'm going to put a bubble shield around the entire fucking nation. There will be no more grenade spam. Okay? The enemy has plasma grenades. And I want a bubble shield around the whole fucking planet. What say you, brothers? What say you, brothers? Oh, Jesus Christ. Bro, this is like, dude, I need somebody to make a meme, to put Trump in that. Put Trump in the bubble shield. And have, like, I don't know, make that be like Marxist Leninists shooting the gay ray. I want gay rays firing at Trump, and America's in there. And he's just protecting America from the gay ray with the fucking bubble shield. Golden Dome. Crazy grandpa wants Golden Dome.
The technology companies to knit together this capability that will defend against those threats that you mentioned, as well as cruise missiles and intermediate ballistic missiles and other threats as well.
Well, it's fascinating, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the robotic arms that are operating behind you and people walking past. So clearly all systems go at Lockheed Martin this morning, and I imagine that this Golden Dome and building it and creating it would be a job creator as well.
It is, and yeah, the work of deterrence is a 24/7 operation, and you see that in process here.
You hear that? The work of deterrence is a 24/7 operation. You want to know why you have to live in a world with the looming threat of nuclear holocaust? It's because nuclear deterrence is a business. As long as there's nukes, there's anti-nuke weapons. Well, hey, wait a minute. If we're working so hard to be able to just prevent nukes from going off, then why do we have nukes? Well, if we didn't have nukes, we wouldn't have deterrence programs. We wouldn't have all this money going into it. War is business. War is business. At least in the United States of America, that is. Like, I hope you understand, this guy ain't gonna fucking see the pearly gates of heaven, bro. No shot.
And yes, there's going to be jobs in California, Colorado, Alabama, Arkansas, New Jersey, New York, all over the country. This is going to be a system
at Lockheed Martin, dog. Hey, fucking dipshit who didn't graduate high school, who's got a GED. You think you're getting a job at Lockheed fucking Martin? Are you insane? Are you insane? Do you think this is the 1930s and you're going to be on a conveyor belt with a wrench fucking tightening one bolt on the propeller of a fucking P-51? You dumb bitch. No! You can't be trusted behind the wheel, let alone behind a fucking robot. No!
It's built domestically here in the United States, and we're really proud to take a leading role in bringing President Trump's vision to reality.
Okay, so let's talk about how some of our adversaries are feeling about the president's announcement yesterday. Chinese Foreign Ministry put out this statement this morning saying this undermines global strategic balance and stability. China expresses serious concern over this. We urge the United States to abandon the development and deployment of a global missile defense system as soon as possible. This is a defensive technology, so how do you feel about that? And
wait, did you guys catch what I just caught? Did you guys catch what I just caught? Did you guys catch what I just caught? A global missile defense system. This is a global missile defense. So of course they're like, wait. What the fuck do you mean a global missile defense system? You don't own Earth. And it's not just a defense system. You're saying you want to have complete and total dominion over the planet? The fucking planet? This is not the image that, look at this image earlier. This is not around the whole planet. That's not the cell they're trying to sell. Yeah, what are we, being invaded by the Covenant? What are we doing? This is what you sold us. That's America, and that's a bubble shield. The Chinese are claiming that you want to build a global missile defense system? Of course it undermines global strategic balance. That would give the United States dominion over the entire fucking planet. Holy shit, bro.
Global missile defense system as soon as possible. This is a defensive technology, so how do you feel about that and where they're coming from here?
Well, what we've seen historically is that the thing that leads to conflict is a lack of deterrence. Yeah. And so our belief, along with the administration, is that having strong deterrence is the best way to deter conflict.
Bro, at this fucking point, I wish the Covenant would invade. Do you know, this is so nihilistic and so fucked up of me to believe this, but if a fucking alien invader showed up, do you know how quickly we would just stop hating each other over race and religion or nationality or gay, straight? Like, we'd be like, hey, there's some fucking split-lip nematode trying to eat the moon. Can we settle our differences for a minute? You know what I'm saying? Like, just for a second, right?
And so we're looking forward to partnering with General Gutlein and the administration to roll this out and make the world safe for peace and prosperity.
So the president also said yesterday that Canada wants to be involved in this, but they would have to pay their fair share. And some skeptics say that the immense cost and the actual ability to create something to defend an entire continent isn't realistic. So what would you say to those critics?
Well, most of the constituent elements of the system...
Thank you for the $2 donation, Seymour Butts. No one show Trump Independence Day. Absolutely.
...have been demonstrated already in smaller scale around the world, and all of them have been proven in combat situations. And so this is really a scaling of capability and an integration capability. And the technology that's available today for networking, for edge and cloud computing, for bringing artificial intelligence to bear on the decision-making, all of that new technology is what...
He does kind of look like a lizard. He does kind of look like a lizard in this shot. He looks like an iguana, just slightly. Listen, I don't care if you love or hate Trump. He kind of looks like an iguana in this shot. You can love Trump all you want. You do not deny me this. In this shot, he kind of looks like a fucking iguana, okay?
What's going to allow us to stitch these capabilities together and produce this system?
It's fascinating.
Oh,
And really
Jesus.
quickly, final question to you. Do you really think that we can get this up and running within President Trump's second term over the next 3 years?
Because of the start we have with the existing capabilities, we're going to be able to rapidly assemble a credible deterrent in a very short period of time. And in parallel, then work the future technologies that'll deal with threats as they evolve. And
Oh, so no. That's a long and convenient way of saying no. There's no shot we would be able to get this done by 2028.
The system relevant for generations.
What a time to be alive. Frank St. John, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I mean...
Dude, his last name is so funny.
Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to...
You.
You're very welcome.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm...
I'll always find that fucking funny, dude. I will always find his last name fucking hilarious.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for being here. You know, Michigan's a border state, so we need each other. We have a very big bridge that's being inaugurated, ribbon cut in September. We need that to be fully staffed. We have a lot going on in Michigan as a northern border state, so we need each other. But
Shout out
what I'm concerned
Michigan.
about-
Shout out Michigan. King of the North. That's Winterfell. Anyone from Michigan in the chat? You guys are Winterfell. It is your job to hold the northern ice wall against the snow Mexicans when they try to fucking invade us after we annex their goddamn nation and turn them into the 51st fucking state. You understand me, Michiganders? You under-fucking-stand me?
Is that you've taken the mandate to close off the border beyond going after, as you say, the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants. I'm a CIA officer. I worked my entire life to protect the homeland. If someone's here illegally, they need to not be here. They've committed a crime by being here. They need to go back to wherever they're from. But my concern is that either through sloppiness or intent, you have gone far beyond going after the, quote, most dangerous illegal immigrants and gone into legal immigrants who were given the ability to be here, and even American citizens. And when I think about that, you know, there are lots of people in this country, including me, who have families who fled this kind of environment where they have no rights, where they have no due process, where they don't have habeas corpus. So while I'll be the first to say, coming from a state that was won by Trump, that there is a mandate to do something about the border, I think it is absolute dangerous overreach to go beyond that and start picking up American citizens and people who have the legal right to be here, lawful immigrants who have done everything right. So first and foremost, do you acknowledge that your department has made some mistakes, any mistakes, in going after either American citizens or legal immigrants here in the time that you've been in office?
All right, do we want to bet that she answers the question at all? There's no, we're not talking about what she's going to say. I'm willing to bet she doesn't even answer the question. Anybody else? Anybody want to take that bet? Anybody want to take that bet? No shot. No shot.
We have not deported any U.S. citizens
detained,
or people get interviewed. If they get interviewed and they go through that process, and we find that they're any U.S. citizens
or legal immigrants here in the time that you've been in office.
We have not deported any U.S. citizens
That's a lie.
or people get interviewed. If they get interviewed and they go through that process and we find that they're U.S. citizens or legal immigrants, they stay in the United States.
Have you deported
We have to
any
go through the vetting process.
Have any American citizens, including children, been deported during your time in office?
We have children that mothers have chosen to keep with them. So those
By my
mothers
count,
have...
So is that a yes, Christy? Is that a fucking yes?
You have 10 American citizens, including children with cancer, who have been deported out of the country. I understand you're saying it's their choice.
But the mothers,
it's hard to imagine a small child having a choice. But have you gone after legal immigrants? Again, your standard in your opening statement was the most dangerous illegal immigrants. Does that include PhD students and master's students at colleges across the country, unarmed? Are they the most dangerous illegal when they have status and no weapons?
I don't decide who gets...
P. Ross, please don't be spamming. You can, like, say whatever shit you want. You can love Trump. You can hate me. But please don't be, like, spamming in the chat. Because then my mods are going to end up fucking muting you. I fully support free speech. But don't be filling up the chat too much, okay? Is that fair? Is that fair?
Gets status through a student program. This Department of State decides that.
Because I'm looking at the chat right now, bro. And also, I have an analysis here. Let me show you. Let me see. Hopefully it works. No, it's not working right now. But, dude, all I can see is you in the chat. I don't know if you're like a grown-ass man, but it's weird. It's parasocial. I'm sure you have a job and a family. You're in a YouTube chat. It gets to a point. It gets to a point. You know? It gets to a point.
Enforce it.
Oh, come on.
That's what our Department of Homeland Security does.
I just would offer
Those
that, again, I have no qualms with going after folks who are here illegally. That is not my concern. That was part of my job, was to prevent people from coming here illegally.
This guy's pretending to be a 12-year-old. Jack, you could ban this guy. He's probably like a really fucking weird pedophile. You can ban that guy. I don't fuck with people who pretend to be children. That's really fucking weird.
In a former life. My concern is you're sending a chill down the spine of America by going after people who either have legal status or American citizens. And when my colleagues ask you about habeas corpus, and you say, literally, we can review the tape, that you believe it's a right the president has. Mm-hmm. You sat here in front of all of us and swore an oath to the Constitution, and that is not at all what habeas corpus is. It is a right that we all get, that American citizens get, that people who are in the United States legally have. So my concern is it's complete overreach. I don't think American citizens, even those who voted for Trump.
MAGA does not accept people like that. Neon, that is MAGA. Like, just so you understand, that's not the first time I've had to deal with weird shit like that. Jack can tell you how many goddamn people he has to block. That is all of MAGA. That is, like, the people you stand shoulder to shoulder with. That's you. When we think of those people, you are one of them. You don't get to choose. You are one of them. You do not get to choose. The only way that you can choose to not be one of them is to just stop being in MAGA. That's it.
Believe that you should be able to just grab someone off the street, sloppy, who has the legal right to be here, and certainly an American citizen. And I just am concerned that while you say you're going after the most dangerous folks, what you're actually doing is going after folks for political reasons.
No weird stuff, man. Yeah, well, that guy voted for the same fucking person you voted for, so you got to live with that. I don't.
Right, a PhD student that's
we are absolutely
is not at the top of the list.
And we're not deporting U.S. citizens, and we're not deporting
10
people
of them
who
have
have
been
legal
deported.
status here.
10 American citizens
if the children
have
gone
deported
with their parents, it's because their
let me
parents
ask you
wanted
another
them
question
with them.
about cybersecurity. You know, you've cut $500 million from the budget. What specific programs are you cutting? Because there are programs that really aid states and locals that we depend on for cybersecurity. And we know that right now, while we may have good security in the federal government, if you...
Just so you guys know, this woman was a fucking CIA agent, like, right after 9/11. Like, during the Bush regime. You know, during like Iraq and Afghanistan, this woman was like a boots. You know, like all those movies about like liberal white moms who are secretly a CIA agent? This is actually one of those moms. Okay? That's who this is. This is Alyssa Slotkin.
You are a local state official. You're depending on the federal government. So have you cut the ISAC program, the program to states and locals on cybersecurity?
The president's recommended budget has a reduction in $491
Does it cut
million.
that program? I've heard
and
the
what
talking
it's
point.
doing
Does
is putting
it cut the
CISA
program?
back on mission.
And
it's
you can't say
ensuring
that this is the most
cybersecurity is going to be strengthened.
You cannot say it's the most cyber secure administration if you're cutting the program to my state and to your state.
It will
and if you
be
look
when
on
we-
record, that's what you've cut. I yield back.
Time has expired. Senator Hawley.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure Pierce Morgan and Mehdi Hassan had finally an agreement. Pierce Morgan is finally admitting that it's a genocide in Palestine. Pierce Morgan, Mehdi Hassan. Let me find the clip.
All right. Well, speaking of broadcast. Word genocide in this context. Let's go ahead and take a listen to a little bit of that.
You and I.
Yeah, it's this guy.
A sane country. Does not attack civilians, does not kill babies as a hobby, and does not expel civilian populations.
The list of people who are responsible, Israel's not on it in my list. Hamas.
Israel's not on the list of people responsible for all of the death in Palestine. Who the fuck is dropping the bombs, homie?
Is on it.
I love it when John and Douglas Murray and these people say, oh, we've been on the ground in Gaza. Yeah, as guests of the Israeli military that's doing the killing, starving, and maiming.
Mehdi can probably go with Al Jazeera to the Hamas side.
So let's not play this credentials game, because John will lose, just like Douglas did on the Rogan show.
Mehdi, control yourself.
You don't actually give a shit about the people of Yemen and Sudan. Show me how many things you've written about Yemen and Sudan versus what I've written.
I actually don't give a shit about you.
Oh, control yourself.
What a little fucking baby back bitch.
The bombardment is wholly disproportionate. The civilian death toll and suffering is intolerable. The denial of aid is unacceptable. These are not the words of democratic leaders about Putin's war on Ukraine, but those of the UK, France, and Canada about Israel's ongoing offensive in.
By the way, start to prepare for this to happen across the board for like these goddamn genocide denying pieces of shit like Pierce Morgan to finally start to see the writing on the wall and to go, oh, if I don't want the history books to look back at me as a piece of shit, I better start actually admitting that this is a genocide now that there's like 14,000 dead infants over the past 2 days.
Gaza. President Trump now says it's time for Netanyahu to wrap it up. Israel is allowing some aid to trickle into Gaza after an 11-week blockade, but aid workers say it's a drop in the ocean, and the US president has acknowledged that a lot of people in Gaza are starving. Shamefully, Hamas still holds 58 hostages and is watching the total destruction of Gaza and its people because it doesn't want peace and it doesn't value human life. It was increasingly difficult to argue that the exact same statement doesn't apply to Netanyahu's Israeli government. Israel's war on Hamas was not a genocide, but genocide isn't something that happens with the push of a button.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but like a couple of days ago, the IDF started shooting at like European ambassadors. So now that's why like Canada and the UK and France, all these nations are finally focused up, is because their ambassadors got shot at. Now that they are realizing, oh my God, you guys are genocidal fucking maniacs who are willing to shoot at United Nations ambassadors. Now they're gonna get fucking involved.
War can end with atrocities that stain humanity, as many have through history. So who is going to stop this?
Can you just stop fucking interacting with this 7-year-old in the chat? It's like, it's unbecoming of you as men and women and non-binary folk. This is a child you are arguing with. Look at its profile picture.
One before it does, if it hasn't already. Well, joining me now is Mehdi Hassan, the editor-in-chief and CEO of Zatea, and retired Major John Spencer, chair of urban warfare studies at the Modern War Institute. Okay, let's get into this. Mehdi, welcome back to Uncensored. Listen, you and I have talked about this war in Gaza for ever since it started, this phase of the 75-year conflict. And I have resisted going as far as you have done in your criticism of the Israeli government. I resist no more. I think we've reached common ground about what we view is happening and has been happening through this.
I resist no more. Now that we've reached the final solution, I'll admit it, it's a genocide. Brother, you're Piers Morgan. Dude, you cannot forgive these people. You can welcome these people. Yes, welcome to the movement. Welcome to the movement. Welcome to understanding that Israel is a genocidal nation. Welcome. But no, you're not forgiven. You know who can be forgiven? The average American, if you convince them that Israel, because what power does the average American have? None. But you? Joe Rogan? Piers Morgan? All these fucking people? No, you're not getting forgiveness. Welcome to the fucking movement. We could use your goddamn voice, because any voice is helpful. But, what are we doing?
Period of this blockade, which, frankly, is just starvation of the people there, including so many.
Steve, of course, says, I don't live life to be becoming, Chris. No, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that if you really want to hurt these fucking 9-year-olds' feelings, you just don't give them your attention. They're desperate for attention. They have really bad relationships with their fathers, so they're desperate for any sort of grown man's attention. That's why they call Trump daddy.
Many innocent young women and children. And I think that the incessant bombing and killing, and we don't know how many civilians have been killed, but it is on a daily basis. It looks like hundreds.
You might ban this hate watcher. He's not entertaining like Koofs. All right, well, listen, I'll give him one more shot. If he's just super fucking weird, we'll just get rid of him.
Hundreds of people every day, with no apparent attempt, it seems to me, to have any real plan for how this ends or what happens when it ends, other than if you look at what Smotrich has been saying, probably the most right-wing member of a very right-wing government, he is talking in a genocidal language about kicking all the Palestinians out.
I'm pretty sure Smotrich, let me see if I could find this. He said in an interview that he was asked directly, what about the children? Are they also your enemy? And he said, they're all the enemy. All of them are the enemy. Let's see. Smotrich. Different strokes for different folks. Genuine question. I'm not sure if you've answered this before, but is what Trump is doing technically a genocide? What Trump is doing a genocide? No. What Netanyahu is doing is a genocide. What America is doing is funding a genocide. We are not killing the Israelis. We are not killing the Palestinians. We are paying the Israelis, giving them what they need to commit a genocide. So essentially, we are complicit. That's what we are. The United States is complicit in a genocide. Different strokes for different folks. Yeah, here it is. In a statement on Monday, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said that Israel's goal is, quote, destroying everything that's left of the Gaza Strip. Quote, We are conquering, cleansing, and remaining in Gaza until Hamas is destroyed, Smotrich went on, per a translation by Israeli outlet Haaretz. This is effectively an admission that Israeli officials intend to carry out ethnic cleansing. It's fucking insane. Netanyahu reassured far-right coalition partners that the small trickle of aid was a tactic to quiet criticisms from foreign allies and pave the way for Israel's total forced displacement plan, known as Gideon's Chariots. Smotrich had a similar message, quote, "Truth be told, until the last of the hostages returns, we should also not let water into the Gaza Strip. But the reality is that if we do that, the world will force us to halt the war immediately and to lose. We are disassembling Gaza and leaving it as piles of rubble with total destruction which has no precedent globally." I don't say this lightly. That might be the most evil shit I've ever read. Like, from somebody currently alive. I've read a lot of evil shit from people who are long dead, you know? But, like, in this day and age, that may be the most evil thing I have ever read. That is insane. Until the last of the hostages returns, we should also not let water into the Gaza Strip. Let me explain something. There are 2.6 million people. Or there were 2.6 million people. It's probably down to 2.2 million now that they've killed like fucking 300,000 or 400,000 of them. But there's 2.6 million people in Gaza. There are something like 50 hostages remaining, right? And 75% of the population of Gaza is under the age of 25. 50% is under the age of 15. So 50% of 2.6 million is 1.3 million, okay? That's the kids under the age of 15. So this guy just said, truth be told, until the 50 remaining hostages return, 5-0, we should not let 1.3 million children have access to water. We should kill them through thirst. I don't even think Vader would have done that. I deadass don't even think Darth Vader would do that.
With no apparent attempt, it seems to me, to have any real plan for how this ends or what happens when it ends, other than if you look at what Smotrich has been saying, probably the most right-wing member of a very right-wing government, he is talking in a genocidal language about kicking all the Palestinians out. So I think you and I have reached a place in the last few weeks where we are in agreement. But my question for you, Mehdi, is how does this end?
I don't know the answer to that question, Piers, and I'm glad we're in agreement. I wish we weren't. Actually, I wish I had been wrong and you were right. I wish that a year ago when I said on your show, you said, well, if it's not about the hostages, what's it about? And I said, it's about depopulating Gaza. It's about conquering Gaza. I wish I'd been wrong. But as you said, Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister in the Israeli government, said this week, we are there to conquer, cleanse, and remain. Those are his words. We are disassembling Gaza, he said. We are leaving it as piles of rubble. He says, we're doing something that no one's done in the world before. He bragged out loud, and he said, yes, the Gazans will have to leave. So all of those things are stuff some of us were saying last year. I wish we hadn't been vindicated in this horrific way. The killing is ongoing. The starvation is ongoing. And look, I do hope that a dam is bursting. You mentioned the genocide word. Shmuel Lederman, who is an Israeli researcher of genocide, spent much of 2024 saying it's not a genocide, it's not a genocide. He was interviewed by a Dutch newspaper last week. He said, I've changed my position. It is a genocide. He said, in my field, there's a consensus among genocide scholars that it's a genocide. In fact,
it's been a consensus, dude. The ICC and the ICJ issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu for the crime of genocide fucking a year ago. You are late to the party, dog.
Dutch newspaper interviewed 7 leading scholars of genocide. Every single one said, we think what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. In fact, this week, Piers, you have an Israeli former general, Yair Golan, saying a sane country does not attack civilians, does not kill babies as a hobby, and does not expel civilian populations. That is Yair Golan, the former deputy
Look
chief
at this
of the
fucking rat just shaking his head left and right, going, no, 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 it's okay to do it, it's
Israeli
okay to
military,
do it.
prominent Israeli politician. He was a hero on October the 7th, fought Hamas himself on October the 7th. This is what he said this week.
Okay, John Spencer, you've been kind of pulling a lot of faces there. You obviously don't agree. But you know, given that so many allies of Israel are now raising massive alarm bells about what is happening, you can't be comfortable, surely, with what is going on in Gaza, are you?
Absolutely not. I think it's horrible. I think there are people suffering. I just am not misinformed on who is the cause of that suffering, that it isn't Israel, that war isn't a crime. War should be avoided at all costs, and Israel did that. And this war didn't start 75 years ago. This war started on October 7th when Hamas invaded Israel and tried to destroy.
The Nakba disagrees with you.
And actually did genocidal acts. I agree that there's a lot of suffering happening in Gaza, and it's the list of people who are responsible. Israel's not on it in my list. Hamas is on it, and I actually...
Israel's not on the list when you're talking about the responsibility for the suffering in Gaza. So Israel didn't slaughter 200,000 civilians with an AI targeting system nicknamed Where's Daddy? So you're not sniping babies in the face? You're just not sniping babies in the face or starving 14,000 children to death? That's just not happening, right? Copy.
You have solutions. You asked Mehdi for a solution. I have solutions based on the history of war.
Yeah.
Number
the
one
solution is to kick out all of the Palestinians. That's what this guy's going to say.
Solution is to encourage Egypt to open the gate that they control and create a humanitarian zone. Let every woman, child, and elderly person out of Gaza. Just
every woman, child, and elderly person? What about the young boys? Like, do you just want the young boys to die for some fucking weird ass? Like, what the fuck?
Just like you and I have discussed in the past about Ukraine, 5 million women, children, elderly left Ukraine to escape Russia's evil bombardments. That could be done today, and it's criminal that it hasn't happened today. Now, Mehdi uses experts, although I thought, you know, credentialism and expert theory was a bad thing today. I've been on the ground, although I've heard that that's a bad thing as well. And what's missing here...
You haven't been on the ground, brother. You have been, like, given a tour from the IOF, bro. They like walked you into different parts that were completely bombed to smithereens and all of the blood had been cleaned up.
Here is, again, which is why I was shaking my head, is that you believe, based on statements of politicians that are not the actual government and the decision makers of the institution, that Israel is intentionally causing this harm. That's false as well. Point the finger at Hamas, as you've said in the past, Piers, and I'm sorry we've lost you. Maybe you and I can go to Gaza because it's not true.
Well, actually, it's interesting. I mean, look, just on that, John, look, you haven't lost me. I still think Hamas is a terrorist organization which committed one of the worst terrorist crimes of the last century. And they should absolutely no longer have any power in that region. They should absolutely be dismantled as a political force and the rest of it. I just see no evidence that Israel's mission statement to eradicate Hamas has worked. In fact, conversely, more and more reports are coming out that for every Hamas terrorist who's been killed, they're being replaced by 4 or 5 people who share that ideology. So the mission...
Hold on, guys. What do we call that? Let's see if you guys retain anything I told you. What do we call that? Jihadi math. I fucking told you this. I told you this. You cannot win a war against terrorists. You can't do it because every time you kill one, you're going to make 2 more. You're going to validate the cause because you're allowing hundreds of civilians to die for each fucking insurgent you take down. Oh my God.
statement isn't working. And you say that Israel is not intentionally killing innocent people, but it knows it is killing a lot of innocent people. So its argument is we're going after Hamas, they're embedded in civilian populations, but they are killing a lot of innocent civilians every single day. And not just killing them, they're now starving them, which will also lead to deaths, which is a deliberate, willful act of trying to kill people. Would you accept that?
It's a war crime.
No, not at all. No. I mean,
starving people?
You can have your own opinions based on your assessment. Yeah, absolutely not starving people. So you're talking about the last 2 months of trucks not going in because Hamas was diverting it. Although the 42 days prior to that, 25,000 trucks went into Gaza. There is absolutely people hungry in Gaza. But Israel is not intentionally starving civilians. Is it trying to starve Hamas combatants in this war that was started on October 7th? No. The evidence doesn't show that. This is the lies, damn lies of statistics and using certain organizations that are using trusted agents. Here's a good, for instance, recently, Mehdi put on a British doctor in southern Gaza on his show. Maybe you've had him on, and he's talking about how bad the hospitals are. He's sitting in a European hospital in southern Gaza where they just killed Mohammed Sinwar, who was in a tunnel underneath the hospital. This double standard about Israel, this double standard about war is problematic, Piers, and here's why. We're going to validate the practice of taking hostages. We're going to validate the use of your own population as human shields, because that's what Hamas is doing. Now, innocent civilians, of course, innocent civilians have died because Hamas does things like not let them evacuate when they're told to evacuate. Like,
oh, really?
Actually,
what about when you guys bombed the ever-loving fuck out of Rafah? You remember that? Like, where there were literally like 1.3 million civilians just chilling and you just dropped bombs all over the fucking tents? What about all the humanitarian aid workers you fucking blown up? What about all of the children you have shot through the brain and then heart? What about them? What the fuck about them?
Holding children in their arms while they shoot at the IDF. And again, we can go, and Mehdi can probably go with Al Jazeera to the Hamas side and look for ourselves on what you think Israel is trying to do. I also have like, well, what did you want Israel to do on October 7th? And had the world not stopped and done things like don't go to Rafah where the hostages are, where Yahya Sinwar is,
all right,
this war would be over by now.
Okay, I'll bring Mehdi to respond. I mean, the one thing I would say is Israel's ongoing refusal to allow international journalists to operate freely in Gaza is a suppression of us uncovering the reality. You say come into Gaza.
That's
actually
not true. Fox News.
No. Israel
Trey Yanks,
Israel
CNN.
has barred almost every international journalist from getting anywhere near it. You know that, and I know that, and it's unprecedented.
I'll be there for my sixth time next month.
Yeah, you're allowed there because you are paid to dispel their propaganda. They're not letting other journalists, good journalists, real journalists. You're not a journalist. You're not a journalist. You're like a smarmy piece of shit Israeli shill. You're an Israeli propaganda machine. That's what you are. That's what you are. You're an embarrassment to journalism.
It's unprecedented for international journalists to be banned in this way from a war zone. It's unprecedented. And it does beg the question, John, why? Now, Mehdi, your response to what John has said there. Now, everybody knows how much I enjoy my...
I'm not listening to your fucking ad, you little piece of shit.
I mean, I don't know how I can respond. So much gaslighting from the very beginning. John has been on the ground in Gaza, yeah, as an embed. I love it when John and Douglas Murray and these people say, oh, we've been on the ground in Gaza. Yeah, as guests of the Israeli military that's doing the killing, starving, and maiming. And you've come back and done exactly what they wanted to do. You've done their propaganda for them. Journalists have not been allowed freely into Gaza. That's why every major media organization on planet Earth has said to the Israeli government, you must allow journalists in. The Palestinian journalists who are there have been killed in record numbers. Of course, Piers, you're right. They want to hide what they're doing. That's why they're killing the journalists there and blocking the journalists from coming in. This idea that he's been on the ground. Yeah, I did interview a doctor, a British plastic surgeon, Dr. Tom Patoka. And by the way, he wasn't in the European hospital because the hospital got bombed by Israel. So he was in another hospital. And he talked to me about how he has to treat patients who have maggots in their wounds. He has to treat patients without limbs. He has to treat children. I've interviewed multiple doctors on the ground in Gaza, actually in Gaza, not hanging around with Israeli military. And they've all said the same thing. American doctors, British doctors, Canadian doctors.
They've never
all
seen
talked
so
about
many
how many kids they saw with snipers.
They've never seen so many kids with sniper shots through the fucking brain and heart.
bullets to the head and chest. Israel does intentionally kill civilians. That's why Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant were indicted at the International Criminal Court for precisely those charges, for willful killing of Palestinians, for murder and persecution. That's why they've been indicted. That's why every human rights group in the world says war crimes are being committed. They've killed people holding white flags. We've seen it with our own eyes. They've bombed.
We watched that video. You guys remember? We watched that video of that grandma getting sniped.
Buildings without warning, with families inside, like the Al-Dos family that I often cite in October 2023. They've dropped 2,000-pound bombs on refugee camps full of hundreds of people. They have killed 7 aid workers in a clearly marked World Central Kitchen aid convoy. They've bombed World Food Programme convoys, leading to Cindy McCain, the wife of the most pro-Israeli senator of my lifetime, to come out and condemn Israel for attacking aid workers. John wants you to ignore Cindy McCain and British and American doctors and human rights groups and your own lying eyes watching people with white flags being gunned down. He wants you to believe him and his Israeli military minders.
Okay, Mehdi, before we go back to John to respond to that, the question that he raised, and I think I've asked you this before, but I'm still curious about, given the way this has all played out, how should, and I saw Bassem Youssef being asked this on Trigonometry last week, I think it was, and he struggled to answer. How should Israel have responded to a terrorist attack, which, just to remind viewers, over 1,200 people were murdered, nearly 7,000 more were wounded. Over 250 people, including babies and Holocaust survivors, were kidnapped and taken hostage. And many of those have died. How should Israel have responded to the biggest attack on its people and its land?
With special forces and special teams going into, in special plays, going in to find Hamas.
Since its existence.
So there's no easy answer to that question, Piers, and you might not like the answer I give you, which is that Israel should have responded by abiding by international law, by sticking with the rules of armed conflict, by targeting only the people they believe carried out the crime. They should have used an international coalition of countries that was fully behind them. The majority of the world was behind Israel after the tragedy of October the 7th. And by the way, I have a longer memory than maybe some people in this country. After 9/11, I got asked the same question. Well, what should we do if we don't bomb Afghanistan? What should we do if we don't go after bin Laden, etc.? How did that work out? 23 years later, your pal Donald Trump, Piers, is taking pictures with the former leader of Al-Qaeda, who's still on a globally designated terrorist wanted list, right? That's where we came. The war on terror was a complete failure. And some of us who saw that, and by the way, Joe Biden even said this in one of his more coherent moments. He said Israel should learn from our lessons. Israel did not learn from the US lessons. And actually, even if you forget about all the innocent Palestinians they killed, even if you don't give a shit about the people of Gaza, even if you only care about the people of Israel, Israel's not any safer today. Israel is not winning this war. John said on Times Radio a year ago, I went back and checked, March of last year, John said, we're very close to winning. Israel's close to victory. Over a year later, they're not close to victory. They're just starving children and denying baby formula. And the former Israeli general who ran the Gaza division said a few months ago, Hamas is winning this war. So they've not made themselves any more secure. I don't have some perfect solution for what they should have done on October 7th. But I do think they shouldn't have killed 50 to 100,000 people, and they should have made themselves less secure. And by the way, the Prime Minister should have resigned because he's the one who let it happen on his watch.
Well, I said...
Not only that, I think that this entire event has kind of weakened, it has made people hate Israel more than they ever have. You know, like, I think at the end of the day, not only is Israel less safe, but more people finally understand the importance of AIPAC and Israel funding and Mossad and Jeffrey Epstein. Like, Benjamin Netanyahu, like, should be hated by Israelis by and large for kind of blowing up their whole operation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're not going to watch this entire interview. I'm probably going to end the stream. Yeah, I think I'll end the stream. Get some food. Seymour Butts, can you stream the 12 DR? Why is it? I don't know what that is, bro. Sorry, no. Thank you for the $2, though. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. I hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. I'm going to go get some food in me. I'm going to feed the babies. If you want to see them, here they are. Bean. Hi. Luigi. Yeah, it's time to feed the babies. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Have a good one.